Waking up, jumping in your car, and driving through 3 different countries to get your favorite lunch. All without ever showing a passport or changing your money. For nearly 500 million people, this isn't a fantasy. It's just a normal Tuesday. Welcome to the European Union, or the EU, as most people call it. If you have ever looked at a map of Europe, you might see a bunch of different nations crammed together. But if you look closer, you will notice they act a lot like a giant club. But what actually is this club? How did it start? And why should you care? Let us break it down. To understand the EU, we have to travel back in time to the 1940s. Europe had just gone through 2 massive, devastating world wars. The continent was in ruins, and everyone was exhausted from all the fighting. A few smart leaders realized that if they wanted to keep the peace, they needed to make the countries rely on each other. They thought, if we link our economies together, fighting each other would be like breaking your own windows. So, they started small. 6 countries got together and decided to share their coal and steel, which were the main ingredients for making weapons. If you can't secretly build weapons, you can't easily start a war. It worked incredibly well. Over the next several decades, more and more countries wanted to join the club. They realized that working as a team made them much stronger on the global stage. Today, that small club of 6 has grown into a massive partnership of 27 countries. So, how does it actually work today? Think of the EU like a massive apartment building. Each country has its own private apartment. They decorate it how they want, make their own house rules, and choose their own leaders. But they all share the same roof, the same plumbing, and the same front door security. To keep things running smoothly, they created a few big rules that everyone has to follow. The biggest rule is something called the single market. This basically means that goods, services, money, and people can move across borders as easily as moving from your living room to your kitchen. If you live in Spain, you can easily move to Germany to get a job or go to college in France, without needing a complicated visa. Another huge part of this club is the money. 19 of these 27 countries decided to ditch their old cash and use one single currency called the euro. This makes traveling and doing business insanely simple because you do not have to waste money on exchange fees every time you cross an invisible line. It gives everyone a sense of shared community. Right now, we are right in the middle of exploring how this whole thing shapes our world. If you want more fact videos in easy to understand English, subscribe below. Now, you might be wondering, who is actually running this giant club? It is not just one king or one president. Instead, it is run by a few different groups made up of people from all 27 countries. They meet up in buildings in places like Brussels and Strasbourg to argue, debate, and pass laws. These laws cover everything from protecting the environment to making sure your phone charger fits into every device. Have you ever noticed how almost all new phones use the exact same charging cable now? You can thank the European Union for that. They forced big tech companies to standardize it so we would have less electronic waste. They also protect your internet privacy and make sure food companies tell you exactly what is inside your snacks. But it is not all sunshine and rainbows. Being in a club with 27 different members means there are a lot of arguments. Some countries feel like the club makes too many rules and takes away their independence. A few years ago, the United Kingdom even decided to leave the club entirely. An event everyone called Brexit. It was a massive, messy breakup that showed just how complicated this partnership really is. Even with the drama, the EU remains one of the biggest economic powers on Earth. It shows that countries with completely different histories, languages, and cultures can actually sit down at the same table and cooperate. It is a massive, ongoing experiment in teamwork. So, next time you see that blue flag with 12 golden stars, you will know exactly what it stands for. It is 27 independent nations trying to build a safer, easier, and more connected world together. Thanks for watching, and see you next time. Thanks for watching.